So in the very first introduction with a theme, I would like to state that we found out that the literature discussing the power of digital entrepreneurship does not provide sufficient insight into the field test competencies and digital entrepreneurship, especially in Republic of Serbia. So in some case, that was a very interesting subject to all of us. So there is a significant lack of information we found out, which challenges our understanding of digital entrepreneurship. Furthermore, female entrepreneurship in a digital age. Why? Why? That is a crucial question, because research in female entrepreneurship in the digital age provide the impact of digitalization in a consolidated manner. In other words, research in entrepreneurship has yet to be contextualized. As you can see that digital entrepreneurial intellectual skills and digital entrepreneurial cognitive abilities are still in a pioneered phase. Thus, the integration of the aforementioned components into a new conceptual framework, the female digital entrepreneurial ecosystem, is sought, and it is expected that such an integration will shed light on our understanding of female entrepreneurship. The next slide speaks more about the methodology, which emphasizes female digital entrepreneurship. The facts and concrete data closely correlated to female digital entrepreneurship, both at the global level and as well as European continent and Republic of Serbia, which is actually the main geographical platform for our subject. Locally, as I said, certainly directly testified to the creation of the framework. Furthermore, a healthy ecosystem of female digital entrepreneurship. So on the next slide, we've explained the development of digital entrepreneurship competencies. What we found out is actually that the competencies are a combination of the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that fit the whole concept, that refer to the responsible and critical use of the full range of the digital technologies for communication, information, and basic problem solving in all aspects of life. The next slide speaks more about digital entrepreneurship. So transferred from the global area to the local area, entrepreneurs, especially from the point of view of female entrepreneurs in Serbia, not only face the challenges that are certainly present globally, but there are many other factors, such as we stated, gender inequality and gap between offline and online businesses, which is the most prominent in the example of female digital entrepreneurship. Therefore, the new generation of entrepreneurs, namely about 40% of them, prefer starting their business through digital platforms, provided with adequate financial literacy, which is very proactive. In such a strategy and type of approach, there is a certainly high degree of risk and a great potential profit as well. In the fifth slide, so the next one, we found out some of the programs of support for the development of female entrepreneurship in the Republic of Serbia and as well and the neighboring countries. So the analysis of the official reports on entrepreneurship shows a gap in terms of the entrepreneur's gender, as you can see from this table. There is a gap between the rates of men and women entrepreneurs according to the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor for 2019 and the previous year, despite the fact that thanks to various actions, the gap was reduced by 5% in 2017 compared to 2016. This report actually shows that women start their business out of necessity, not because they see an opportunity in it. According to this report, women's business will have a lower growth rate. When the data on female entrepreneurship in Republic of Serbia are in question, the percentage of women entrepreneurs increased from, you can see in the table, from 25 to 30% in the period from 2012 to 2019. But 99% of women entrepreneurs run micro enterprises up to 10 employees, and their businesses are smaller in scope than those run by men. Okay, the next slide, the sixth one. In addition to gender, in the territory of the Republic of Serbia, the fact that not all women come from urban areas, but also from rural areas, should be taken into consideration as well. This is evidenced by the statistics showing that approximately a quarter of women entrepreneurs are in Belgrade, the capital of Serbia, Vojvodina, the northern part, Šumadija, and western Serbia. On the other hand, 20% of our entrepreneurs come from southern and eastern Serbia, which is expected to a certain extent because this area is traditionally less developed. The next slide shows that it is not surprising that women entrepreneurship look for a way to reconcile family and business obligations more easily, if we keep in mind the fact that both in Serbia and in the world, women work much more in the house and with children than their partners do. In Belgrade, the capital alone, women do twice as many unpaid jobs as men do. The research studies that have already been mentioned in the text of our original paper explains the greater failure of women, first of all by the very reasons why they turn to entrepreneurship. It is more often a matter of necessity than recognizing a business opportunity and thus hinders business development. Regarding the barriers that entrepreneurs face, in this case, I'm speaking again in the front of female entrepreneurs, they're primarily in the field of financing. In the financing of women's entrepreneurship in the Republic of Serbia, and in general, the problem is evident: lack of microfinancing and lack of legal framework for microfinancing. The next slide shows actually the development of female entrepreneurship and some of the barriers which I shortly explain. But generally, within the topic of financing digital entrepreneurship, which includes business subsidy programs, women entrepreneurship should be included in the flat tax regime that we somehow find out kind of overlapping those barriers. The fact is that women, no matter whether they do business in traditional or digital entrepreneurship, are much more present that they are among companies, which creates room for progress. Further continuous incentives for the development of female innovative entrepreneurship. The next slide, please, Maria. Thank you. On behalf of the Association of Serbian Banks, for instance, we found out that the cooperation with a section for female entrepreneurship of the Serbian Chamber of Commerce was also emphasized, which is a very positive signal. It was emphasized that the energy invested by women was recognized, which was the essence of business in Serbia. It should be noted as well that within the research study entitled The Gendered Thread of Digital Entrepreneurship, the targets are the respondents who have a relatively similar level of education and a general level of digital literacy. Further, digital entrepreneurial competencies, which consist of different factors, as it is noting the promotion, different kind of country and financial organization supports, and generally, as it is in the last focus point stated, the strengths for the female entrepreneurship in a global. Okay, the next slide. Thank you. In order to further encourage the development of female entrepreneurship in economic terms, there are two projects and one signed declaration. The first one is Summit of Women Leaders, and the other one is a special strategy that the Republic of Serbia, as itself as a country, would like to promote in a digital sphere of entrepreneurship, especially among the females. So the starting points determine the framework, goals, priorities, and measure for improving the development of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, as well as the further entrepreneurship. It is also worthwhile saying that the Development Fund of the Republic of Serbia encourages the development of entrepreneurship through its program for encouraging entrepreneurship for females through development projects. And finally, I think that is the last one. Yeah, conclusion. Initiatives for the development of female entrepreneurship as well as female digital entrepreneurship in the Republic of Serbia, as well as the neighboring areas, does exist, but the continuation of discussion and research should be insisted on. Such discussions and research studies, including different opportunities to create support for local governments, civil society, and the media. We concluded, as the authors, that it is necessary to consider alternative solutions to overcome the identified problems in terms of developing entrepreneurial competencies, empowering women to decide to establish companies in the digital sphere, but also to finance the growth and development of these digital enterprises. On behalf of my colleagues who are not presented at this moment, I would like to thank you, Maria, as well as the whole organization of ZINC conference to have an opportunity to present our research in this area of digital female entrepreneurship. Thanks a lot for your kind attention.
I'm interested if you were checking by any chance, how is the situation in other countries, like other European countries on the West or on the East, and are their governments doing some type of support, and what type of support, and how is that going? Or it was something a couple of years ago and now it's getting better?
Thank you, Maria, for your question. I should stress this, that this research topic that we actually explored within few years was a kind of continuation of our main subject, which is actually the female entrepreneurship within the creative industries, which is a very huge, I would say, progress point out in the economies within not only neighboring countries, but as well as the region and within the European continent as well. Precisely speaking, within this research project, we actually explored the situation of female digital entrepreneurship in the Republic of Serbia with the a few explorations in the neighboring countries. I would say especially Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, etc., where in the frame of creative industries and digital entrepreneurship, as I stated, are somehow similar problems: lack of finance, lack of digital education, marketing support as well. You see, because digitalization is a very complex process. That does not mean only the digitalization from the technical point of view, but also from the marketing, technical, digital support tools, which actually provide further communications and much more easier communication with some clients, let's say, because we are speaking here in a commercial way about the micro, small, medium, and huge companies. So from that point of view, some barriers, once again, I speak about Republic of Serbia and the neighboring countries, which was the main focal point in this research, are basically have the similar problems.